There are certain things a man can say to a woman that will instantly destroy attraction. No matter how attractive he is, how successful, or how great the chemistry seemed at first. And the crazy part? Most men don't even realize they're saying the wrong thing. They think they're being honest, vulnerable, even romantic, but what they're actually doing is killing the spark. Slowly, silently, and often irreversibly. In this video, we're diving into 5 deadly phrases you should never say to a woman if you want to keep her attracted to you. These aren't small slip-ups or minor miscommunications. These are the kinds of statements that turn desire into doubt, confidence into confusion, and respect into resentment. And once they're said, you can't take them back. So if you've ever found yourself asking, what happened? Things were going so well, why did she suddenly pull away? This is your wake-up call. Welcome back to the channel, the place where men stop chasing approval and start leading with purpose. If you're tired of being the guy who gets ghosted, the guy who women lose interest in after a few weeks, or the guy who feels like he's doing everything right but still ending up alone, listen closely, because you're about to learn what no one ever teaches men. The truth about female attraction. And it's this: attraction is not logical, it's emotional. A woman might say she wants a nice guy, a vulnerable guy, an open communicator. But attraction doesn't respond to words. It responds to energy, to confidence, to the unspoken signals you send through your actions, and especially through your words. So when you say something that flips her emotional switch from attraction to aversion, she won't always explain. She might not even understand it herself. One day she's warm and affectionate. The next she's distant, cold, hard to read, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Well, chances are, it's something you said. So let's break it down. The 5 most dangerous things men say that ruin attraction. Number 1, I'm nothing without you. This one might sound romantic in movies, but in real life, it sends the exact opposite message. Because what you're really saying is, you're more valuable than me. My life has no meaning without you. And that might feel like a grand gesture, but to a woman, it signals something very unattractive: emotional dependence. Here's the truth: women are drawn to men who are centered, grounded, and self-respecting. They want to feel like they're part of your life, not the reason you exist. When a man says, I'm nothing without you, what she hears is, I need you to feel whole. And no matter how much she liked you before, those words plant doubt. They create pressure, and pressure isn't sexy. Think about it. A man with purpose doesn't need to convince a woman he can't live without her. He already knows his value. He knows who he is. When you make her your everything, you stop being the man she was originally attracted to. The man with goals, the man with ambition, the man she respected. You become dependent. And that shift from confident to clingy is a slow death for attraction. Here's how it plays out in real life. A guy meets a girl. Things go great. He's passionate, ambitious, social, active, but then he gets into a relationship and starts letting go of everything else. He skips the gym, stops hanging out with friends. He loses sight of his goals, and suddenly she becomes the center of his world. At first she might feel flattered, but over time she starts feeling trapped, suffocated, like she's no longer with the same guy she fell for. And when she finally says, I don't know, you've just changed, what she's really saying is, you lost your edge. That edge was your independence, your drive, your purpose. The moment you gave it up, the attraction started fading, and it all started with the idea, I'm nothing without you. Here's the truth, and it might sting a little, but it's necessary. You were someone before her. You'll be someone after her. And the second you forget that, you stop being the kind of man a woman wants to stay attracted to. Because here's a fact most men don't hear enough. Women don't want to be your emotional savior. They want to be your partner, your companion. Someone who walks alongside you, not someone who has to carry your identity on her shoulders. Never say, "I'm nothing without you." Instead, show her, through your actions, that you want her in your life, not that you need her to have a life. Neediness repels, purpose attracts, and if you've ever said that phrase, or even thought it, it's time to refocus, rebuild, reclaim your sense of self. Because no relationship can survive when one person makes the other their emotional oxygen. Now, before we continue, I want to remind you, if you're serious about improving your dating life and becoming the kind of man women are magnetically drawn to, my exclusive course on mastering the dating game is now available. It goes far beyond what I share on this channel. From approaching women confidently to building deep, lasting attraction, everything you need is laid out step by step. We've just completed section 5, and trust me, you won't find that content anywhere else. Head over to stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll. Secure payment options, lifetime access, all designed to help you win, not just in dating, but in life. All right, let's get back to it. This was just the first of 5 phrases. And if that one resonated, the next 4 are going to hit even harder, because the worst part about attraction killers isn't how fast they work. It's that you don't even realize the damage until it's too late. So stay tuned and make sure you don't say the next phrase either. Number 2, "I'm scared you'll leave me." This one hits deep, because the moment those words leave your mouth, you're not just being vulnerable, you're giving away all your power. And whether she says it out loud or not, she feels the shift. You've gone from confident to uncertain, from grounded to needy. And just like that, the attraction starts to fade. Now let's be honest, every man at some point feels insecure. Every guy has those moments when he questions where he stands. Is she losing interest? Is she pulling away? Is there someone else? That's human. But the mistake most men make is voicing that fear in a way that sounds like desperation. Saying, "I'm scared you'll leave me," isn't a moment of honesty. It's a cry for reassurance. And that cry doesn't pull her closer. It pushes her further away. Why? Because it tells her you're not centered. It tells her your emotional world depends on her decisions. And that's a heavy burden to place on anyone, especially someone who was initially drawn to your strength. When a woman hears those words, she stops seeing you as a leader and starts seeing you as someone who needs saving. She doesn't want to be your emotional therapist. She doesn't want to be the reason you feel secure. That's not her role. Her attraction was built on your stability, your confidence, your sense of self. And here's where many guys get confused. They think vulnerability means saying everything that's on their heart, every doubt, every insecurity. But real vulnerability isn't dumping your fears onto someone. It's owning them, processing them, and showing emotional maturity, because a woman can tell the difference between a man expressing truth and a man fishing for validation. Let's get real. If a woman is thinking about leaving, saying, "I'm scared you'll leave," will not stop it. If anything, it confirms what she was already sensing, that you can't emotionally handle the relationship. And now, not only is she considering leaving, but she also feels guilty for being the emotional center of your universe. That's not attractive. That's draining. A grounded man doesn't beg. He doesn't panic. He doesn't try to control the outcome with emotional pressure. He observes. He stays calm. And if something feels off, he communicates from a place of strength, not fear. Saying, "I'm scared you'll leave me," shows you've already lost the frame. And once you lose the frame, you lose the spark. Number 3, you're out of my league. This is one of the worst things a man can say, not because it offends her, but because it reveals how little you value yourself. And once you say it, she'll start to believe it too. Attraction is based on perception. It's not just about how you treat her, it's about how you see yourself. And when you tell a woman she's out of your league, what you're really doing is placing her on a pedestal. and putting yourself beneath her. That doesn't make her feel desired. It makes her feel responsible for holding up your self-worth. That's not a compliment, that's a confession that you don't think you belong. Women are drawn to men who own their value, men who aren't intimidated by beauty, men who don't flinch around status. When you say she's out of your league, you turn her from a person into a trophy, and yourself into someone who's just lucky to be noticed. A confident man doesn't believe in leagues. He believes in standards, in compatibility, and shared values. He doesn't look at a woman and think, she's better than me. He looks and thinks, does this fit my life? Does she align with my mission? The problem is, too many guys think women want constant praise, that always telling her how amazing she is will keep her around. But when that praise comes at the expense of your own worth, it becomes insecurity in disguise. And women feel that. They feel it when a man is unsure of himself. They feel it when he doesn't believe he deserves to be there. And that kills attraction. The second you say, you're out of my league, you're planting a seed in her mind. A seed that says, maybe I am. And even if she wasn't thinking it before, now she's questioning the dynamic. So here's the truth. Women are only out of your league if you act like they are. The moment you start treating her like some unattainable goddess, the relationship dynamic shifts, and not in your favor. Hold your ground. Speak to her like someone who knows he belongs, not someone begging for permission to be in her presence. Confidence isn't about being cocky. It's about being certain of who you are, and that certainty is magnetic. Number 4, I'll do anything for you. At first, this sounds noble. It sounds like devotion, like commitment, like love. But behind the words is something that repels attraction, a total loss of boundaries. When a man says, I'll do anything for you, what he's really saying is, I'll abandon myself for your approval. That's not love. That's submission. That's weakness pretending to be loyalty. Let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with supporting a woman, protecting her, being generous. That's healthy masculinity. But when you tell her there's nothing you won't do, what you're really showing is that you don't know where you end and she begins. And that's dangerous. Women don't want a man who hands over the steering wheel to his life. They don't want a yes-man who bends and breaks just to keep them happy. That doesn't feel safe. It feels unstable. Because if a man has no lines, he won't cross. He can't be trusted to lead. A man who says, I'll do anything for you, is often trying to buy affection through sacrifice. But real attraction isn't earned by giving up who you are. It's built through presence, strength, and integrity. Look, she might smile when you say this. She might say it's sweet, but underneath that smile is a growing sense of pressure. She knows that now she holds power over you. And that power shift doesn't excite her. It burdens her. Because now, she's not just in a relationship. She's responsible for managing a man who's trying to be everything for her, instead of being solid in himself. Women don't want someone who worships them. They want someone who can challenge them, support them, lead beside them. Someone who's willing to give, but not lose himself in the process. So don't say, I'll do anything for you. Say this instead, I'll do a lot for the right woman, but I won't give up who I am. That's real strength. That's real masculine energy. And that's what keeps her drawn to you. Number 5, please don't hurt me. The moment you say this to a woman, you might think you're being open or emotionally honest, but what you're really doing is revealing deep-rooted insecurity. It tells her you've been hurt before, and now you're afraid it might happen again. It's not strength, it's vulnerability taken too far. And women aren't attracted to fragility. They're attracted to strength. Let's get something straight. Yes, relationships come with risk. Anyone can get hurt. That's part of the deal. But when you openly beg her not to hurt you, you instantly position yourself as the guy who's already losing before the relationship even starts. And she'll feel it. She may not say it, but it sends a clear message. He expects pain. He's already bracing for the worst. And if that's what you expect, pain, betrayal, abandonment, she'll start to wonder, why should I expect anything different? Saying, please don't hurt me, puts emotional responsibility squarely on her shoulders. You're asking her to manage your feelings, to promise you that nothing will go wrong. That's pressure, and pressure is the opposite of attraction. She doesn't want to be your emotional shield. She wants a man who can handle his own world, who can stand tall even in uncertainty, who can navigate risk without crumbling. That's what makes her feel safe and drawn to you. Not your fear, but your resilience. Here's what happens when you say this in real life. You meet a woman. There's chemistry, connection, potential. But because of your past, your wounds, your fear of being hurt, you drop this line, just promise me you won't hurt me. At first, she might feel compassion, but almost immediately something shifts. She senses hesitation, insecurity, fear, and it changes the entire emotional tone. You've just taken the energy from excitement to anxiety, from possibility to pressure, from masculine to fragile. In her mind, you've already started picturing the end, and now so is she. That's how attraction fades, not with a big event, but with small signals of emotional instability. And this is one of the loudest. You need to be the kind of man who can get hurt and still stay strong, who's been through things and come out better. That's what women are drawn to. Not a man begging for protection, but a man showing he can handle life even when it gets hard. Don't hand her your wounds. Don't ask her to carry your emotional weight. Own your past. Learn from it. But never use it to frame yourself as fragile, because the truth is, attraction is built on strength, and strength is silent, calm, grounded, the kind that doesn't have to say, please don't hurt me, because it radiates, I can handle whatever comes. Number 6, you complete me. It sounds like something out of a movie, and that's exactly where it belongs, because in the real world, telling a woman you complete me is a silent red flag. What you're really saying is, I'm not whole without you. And no matter how poetic that might sound, it's a signal of emotional dependence. And dependence, no matter how pretty the packaging, kills attraction. Women are drawn to men who are already full, already fulfilled, purposeful and grounded. A man with a clear identity. A man who wakes up with intention, with self-respect, with direction. When you tell a woman, you complete me, you're essentially saying, I'm missing something, and it's your job to fill the hole. That creates pressure, not connection. She doesn't want to be your reason for living. She wants to be a part of your already meaningful life. She wants to join your journey, not become your purpose. And if she senses that you're leaning on her for your entire emotional foundation, it starts to feel less like love and more like a job. Here's where a lot of men fall into the trap. They confuse romantic devotion with personal erasure. They think that losing themselves in her means they're loving her harder. But in reality, they're just becoming emotionally dependent, and that's a responsibility no woman wants. When you act like she's your missing piece, she starts to question whether you ever had a full life of your own. And the more you orbit around her as the source of your meaning, the more she pulls away, not because she doesn't like you, but because the dynamic now feels off. You see, healthy relationships aren't about becoming one. They're about two whole people coming together to build something stronger. You are not half of something. You are already complete. And when you carry that mindset into your relationships, she feels it, she respects it, she's attracted to it. So never say you complete me, say this instead. You inspire me, you add to my life, but I was already solid before you came in. That's the kind of man who keeps attraction alive. That's the kind of energy she doesn't want to walk away from. Number 7, tell me how to be better. Now, on the surface, this might sound humble, like a man just trying to grow and improve himself, but let's cut through the illusion. When you say, tell me how to be better, what you're actually doing is outsourcing your leadership. You're saying, I don't trust myself. I don't know what kind of man I should be. Please guide me. And that may sound emotionally open, but to her, it screams emotional weakness. Here's the raw truth. Women are not attracted to men who need instruction manuals for their identity. They're attracted to men who already know who they are, what they stand for, and where they're going. When you hand her the job of shaping you, you're no longer a partner, you're a project. And that kills attraction fast. What's worse, many men don't even realize they're doing it. They think they're being caring. They think asking her for input shows emotional maturity. But in reality, it shows she's in the driver's seat of a life that should be yours to lead. That's not attractive. It's draining. You need to understand, her job isn't to fix you. She's not your life coach. She's not your therapist. She's not your mother. Her attraction to you is based on how well you lead yourself, not how well you follow her. Suggestions. A woman wants to be inspired by your direction, your presence, your strength, not constantly asked to provide it. Here's the brutal part. When you ask her how to be better, you're saying, I'm not enough, and I need you to tell me how to become enough. That's not humility, that's dependence. And dependence never inspires desire. Instead of looking to her to define you, step into your own personal evolution. You want to grow? Good, then grow. Go earn your growth through challenge, through discipline, through discomfort. Don't put it on her shoulders. She wants a man who's already doing the work, not one who needs her to handhold him through it. Attraction isn't about who you can become if she helps you. It's about who you already are and who you're becoming through your own fire. You don't become magnetic by asking how to be better. You become magnetic by doing the hard work when no one's watching. And now, here's the controversial truth you need to accept. If you keep saying these phrases to women, you don't deserve their attraction. Why? Because attraction isn't charity. It's not handed to you because you're a good guy or because you're vulnerable. It's earned, it's maintained, and yes, it can be lost fast, based entirely on your mindset, your confidence, and how unapologetically you own your value. Let's recap the 7 things you should never say to a woman. I'm nothing without you. I'm scared you'll leave me. You're out of my league. I'll do anything for you. Please don't hurt me. You complete me. Tell me how to be better. Every one of these lines communicates weakness, not strength, emotional dependency, not leadership. And while your words may seem sincere or real, the message underneath is repelling her on a subconscious level. So here's the challenge. Be a man who leads. Be a man who owns his emotions without dumping them on others. Be a man who earns respect through strength, not submission. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever said one of these things in a relationship? What happened next? Did she pull away? Did the energy shift? Did the spark disappear? Drop your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and I respond as often as I can, because this channel isn't just content. It's a community, a space where men come to grow, get honest, and level up together. If this video hit home for you, like it, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. And if you're serious about mastering your inner game, your dating life, and your masculine presence, check the link in the description for my complete course on mastering attraction and building powerful relationships. You are not here to chase approval. You're here to lead. So lead yourself first, and the rest will follow.